Can Trump create peace in the Middle East? I mean, let me put the question like that. Can he create peace in the Middle East? He's essentially said that America wants to own Gaza. I mean, this is an extraordinary moment in a press conference with Netanyahu standing next to him. I would assume Mr. Netanyahu had some notice of what the president was going to say. They'd had a meeting and this was their meet the press moment. Plans to occupy and rebuild Gaza they've been widely condemned, I think we can say. Probably everywhere has said this is ridiculous. Mr. Trump said all Palestinians in Gaza should be resettled, saying there is no alternative for them as Gaza is a demolition site. He promised to rebuild the Strip into the Riviera of the Middle East. Now, just 1 second here. I mean, he's right about the fact that this is a demolition site, right? I mean, what are you meant to do in the next half an hour, in the next year, the next 2 years? The place has been broadly flattened. No one's going to live there for a long, long time. So how do you deal with that? What are you meant to do? He's talking about other countries stepping in and doing their bit. And, you know, he talks about Egypt in that equation as well. Saudi Arabia, of course, who's a really crucial ally to America, weighed in and in a sharply worded statement noting that its long call for an independent Palestine state was a firm, steadfast and unwavering position. The Australians have said the same thing. The Aussie Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said that Australia has long supported a two-state solution in the Middle East and that nothing has changed. He said Australia's position is the same as it was this morning, as it was last year, as it was 10 years ago. And I think that position is probably even echoed by most countries around the world. But I did look at this and think, well, you know, in the absence of any other solution, I mean, Trump's throwing it up there. I don't believe for 1 second that Trump is going to bed at night thinking, I can see it now, the Riviera with the cafes, Trump Towers right in the middle, a big statue of the Donald in the town square. Lots going on, a completely different, you know, it's a nice idea. I don't think anyone seriously buys that in its entirety. But the idea that right now you're going to somehow find a place for everybody to resettle in Gaza is just not going to happen. So you've got to do something. So he's thrown this one up in the air, and that's the nearest I can really get to perhaps what the game or the point of those statements were. In the absence of anything else, I wonder whether it's as simple as that. Has he just thrown it up into the air, hoping that something will land? I don't imagine you're going to hear many Western countries say that they are going to support this idea. Giorgia Meloni, of course, the PM of Italy, they're on very good terms with Donald Trump and America. She offered a very cautious response to the suggestion that Gaza should be emptied of Palestinians, redeveloped. So she's not quite as on board. And if she's not on board, then you begin to see why this would be a problem. But I can't believe that Donald Trump was speaking literally. I know it sounded as if he was. He did say, look, I'm not trying to be smart or cute here. The hear me out kind of thing. There might be something in this. 0344 499 1000. I want to just gauge your views on this. It's not an area we would usually discuss in any great detail, but bearing in mind the sheer importance of this, the fact that there has been a horrendous, bloody war with so many people losing their lives, that the idea that we don't scratch and look into areas that previously would have been unpalatable would be ridiculous. Maybe we've got to do that. Can Trump create peace in the Middle East? Is he the man, Donald Trump, the comb-over king of Capitol Hill, who pitched up on a massive landslide and has gone into action in absolute rapid rate of knots territory on all sorts of areas, and here he is opining on this one while meeting the Israeli leader. Can it happen? Could it happen? Is he the bloke that's going to solve the problem?